Hello, my name's Chris. Welcome to Coding Workshop. This is the first episode in a series geared towards complete beginners. Obviously, this is the Ubuntu version. It's companion to the Windows 10 version. If you're on Windows 10, check out the link in the description. This series really is aimed at complete beginners, so people who want to get into coding but they don't know where to start. People that maybe just use their computers to get online. You may use it for checking email, but you don't really understand what's going on under the covers. So, what is code? Code is just basically a bunch of instructions, commands that you type into files, store in files, and these instructions just basically tell the computer what you want it to do, and it can be a whole range of things. Now, well, what is a file? Well, files are just objects that store data, and locally they're stored on disks. In Ubuntu, for example, you've got the file explorer here, similar to the Windows one. And when we open this, it takes you to your home folder. Now, a folder is just a convenient way of storing files. I mean, in this case, with Ubuntu, you get a bunch of defaults, similar to Windows. So you got videos, you can store music, pictures. So let's try and create a new folder in here. So if you right-click, you get this option here, New Folder, and give it a name, and there you go. If you go into here, obviously the folder is empty. And what Ubuntu doesn't give you by default is a create file option, as you might get in Windows. So what we'll do is we'll use the terminal to do that. So you just go up here to activities and just search for terminal. There is an easier way to do this. We might have seen it in the drop down just now, but we'll go to that in a minute. And open the terminal. Now, if you've never seen a terminal before, this is just similar to the command prompt in Windows. It allows you to input commands to tell the machine what you want to do. The first command we'll show you is manual, a little bit like the help one if you've seen the Windows 10 help command in the command prompt. There's an equivalent on Unix, which is man. It's basically like a Unix manual. So you can do man, which will tell you what the manual page utils command is for. And you'll notice that there's this tilde character here. Now this is the current directory. The current directory by default in the terminal is your home folder, which is this folder here. So how can we view the files or folders in here? The first command I'll show you to do that is ls. So man ls will give you list directory contents, similar to dir on Windows. So let's just run ls. There you go. As you can see, it just matches what we see in that files window. So the next command we'd like to do is change directory. Now this is exactly the same command as Windows 10. It's surprising there's no manual for CD. There is a reason for that, but we'll not get into that now. And what CD does is just either gives you a way of getting back to your home folder, or if you give it a parameter, it will change the directory to that folder. So what we wanted to do was create a file in here. Now there are a multitude of ways of creating files in the terminal. What I'll show you is the same way as what I showed you in the Windows 10 version, which was using something called redirection, along with the echo command. Now echo does exist on Linux as well as on Windows. Displays line of text, so if we type echo and then a line of text, then there you go, it will display it on the terminal. And redirection is a very powerful mechanism in the shell. It basically uses this character, the greater than character, to redirect the output of commands to other places. I mean, in our case, we'll redirect that text into a file. So, for example, let's do the same again, but redirect it now into a file. In fact, let's just change the directory here so you can see it appear. So yeah, let's create a new file with hopefully that text as contents. And there you go. So if we open this file, you'll be able to see that there's the text that we created. Right, so next we want to try and delete that file. Command in Unix that you use to delete files, there's no del command as there might be in Windows. What the equivalence in Unix is rm, which removes files or directories. So it's simply a case of doing rm new file. If you watch the window in the bottom right, the file just disappears. What about folders? So we're currently in the coding subfolder, and what we want to do is go back a folder, back a directory. If I pass -a to ls, what that gives you is all folders in this current working directory. And you'll notice that there's two special ones, the dot and the double dot, which kind of the same as on Windows. Now the double dot is a special one which tells it to go back one folder in the file system. So as you can see, we're now back in the whole folder, and we could try and remove coding. We can't do that, it's a directory. Now rm does have an option -f, which we could use to remove the coding subfolder, but I'll show you another command in Unix which is specifically for removing folders, directories. So what we can do now is, let's just type that command, and if you watch the lower right window, the folder disappears and the file explorer goes back to home. And there you go, a little introduction to the terminal and files, folders, directories. When you're coding, you do spend a lot of your time looking at code which is stored in files, and using a good editor to edit these files, which is basically where all your code goes. What we'll do in the next episode is we'll create a few scripts. Scripts are, well, you could call it coding. They're just files with commands in them, shell commands generally. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to show you that I mentioned earlier was an easier way of opening the terminal if you've got the files window open. As you can see in here, when we did the drop down menu before, we've got this option here which is open in terminal, which is just a quicker way of opening a terminal in this folder. So I mean, you click on that there and you get the same window. It saves you going up to the left up here and searching for it like we did earlier. So yeah, I hope you found that interesting, useful, and I'll see you in a bit.